let's have our closing conversation of the day, going out with Mr. Chris Daughtry. Just explain in terms of, the Daughtry machine, where you guys are at right now, coming off a tour.
The Daughtry machine, I've never heard it called that. We spent like I think 6 or 7 months on the road this year. U.S., Asia, South Africa, we were all over the place. It was an incredible year, and we're just now taking a break well, we took a break right before the holidays. So now we're gearing up to try to figure out what's next.
Well, that's the thing. In 2019, I would imagine, and what an artist has in terms of career choices, probably a lot different than way back in your Idol breakthrough. That was how many years ago now?
12, I think. Yeah.
Imagine, does it feel like a very different music business?
Extremely different. I got in 2006 when people still bought real records, and then we've seen so much change over the past few years with all the streaming services and Spotify, Pandora, and all of it. Yeah.
So back in 06, you finished 4th on Idol. You were a very memorable contestant. You kind of broke out from there. How many albums over that?
We just put out our 5th album in July.
Wow. So that's about 5th
So
album.
5th album and a greatest hit, so technically 6. Yeah.
Amazing. Most artists never even get to the point where they reach a greatest hits. So you're now you're at a place where you're asking yourself questions about what's next. Obviously, you can't spill all the beans, but what are some of the questions that are going through your mind right now as you figure out what you want to be doing in 2019?
Exactly that. What the hell am I gonna do?
Just go back into
I think it's we released one single off this record, and we're about to release our second one, so that could potentially put us back out on the road for a few months. But yeah, I'm already kind of forward thinking, already writing new stuff. And I feel like you have to be that way these days. You have to be, okay, we put that out, now on to the next thing. Because people are always looking for that next product that you put out, and especially with things like Spotify, and there's so many artists that have so much access to people now, and have so many ways of getting exposure that it's almost like they heard it, now they can't wait for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels like it puts a lot of pressure on you to continuously be creative.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like artists nowadays are releasing at a rate that is unthinkable back from when I was a kid. Does that put a lot of stress on you and your people to meet that demand?
I think I put a lot of stress on me.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault. I have to look at it that way, or else I'll go insane. But yeah, I think I'm always going, man, what am I going to write about next? But I'm actually in a place where I don't feel like I've done my best work yet. So I'm looking forward to that, whenever that is. I feel like there's some stuff brewing right now that I'm like, okay, I can see where this might go. But yeah, I put a lot of pressure on me, and I feel like because of that, I feel like everybody around me is thinking the same thing, going, when's he gonna come out with something else, or it better be good, or it's gotta be this, it's gotta be that, which is all stuff that I'm telling myself that people are saying. Meanwhile, nobody's even thinking about us, but as far as management and label and things like that, I'm always thinking that there's that pressure.
And so it sounds like you got some ideas about where you're headed next artistically. Does the management and label, do they come in as well and say, well, Chris, if you look at the trends out there, here's how things are hitting, or do you just operate purely from gut, from the heart?
I think it's a little bit of everything. There's always that, you're aware. There's always that awareness of what's going on out there, and how you kind of fit into that, if at all. And then there's I just want to write from the gut or from the heart, and if there's a way to bridge those two together, then that's fantastic. But and even going into a record, you hope for a hit, you pray for a hit. You never know if that's ever going to happen. And so at the end of the day, you have to be proud of it, you have to be excited about it, and you have to believe in it. or else no one else will.
You draw on a contrast between the early part of your career, kind of more album-centric time, and today in the Spotify world. So how has that changed your mentality as an artist? Did you, think more in terms of albums, now more in singles? What's that like?
I think it's exactly that. For the first time in our career, I'm thinking, do we even have to do an album anymore? Hey, I'm really excited about this song I just wrote. Why not just record it and put it out? We were actually, me and my manager were talking about that earlier. I think we live in that age where it's okay to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's exciting because a lot of times we'll write songs, and by the time we put the record out, those songs are like 2 and 3 years old, and we're already over them. But it's the first time the public is hearing it, or the fans, and then we're like, yeah, but we're already working on new stuff. Whereas if we just go, hey, we're excited about the song, here it is. I think there's something really cool about that.
And with regard to Spotify, there's been controversy, debate about the economics for artists. I mean, where do you stand on that? Do you feel that you're getting your fair share?
No, of course not. but I think the cool thing about it is there's so much, there's I don't know, a couple million artists on Spotify. I don't remember ever knowing of a couple million artists ever when I was listening to the radio back as a kid, I don't know if there was ever that many artists to be heard. Now, people can get their music out like bam, 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 bam. And on one hand, it's like, how do you navigate that? How do I even find, good stuff to listen to? Or you just have to, dig through the bundle or whatever. But on the other hand, it feels like you can easily get lost in the pile and slip through the cracks too. So there's a big responsibility on you to, super serve the fan base via social media and get the word out there that you even have stuff to listen to. And unless you're in those, those upper echelon, top tier artists that, like the Post Malones of the world that, does 1 billion streams, which is fantastic. He deserves it. I think it's excellent.
So in the decade plus that you've been doing this, have you seen the economics of you change in terms of, well, in the beginning, we got to get those album sales, and now maybe things like merch and touring? Or...
Absolutely. Now it's you have to tour, which we've always been a touring band. That's always been our go-to way of making money, that and merch. And now it's definitely, more than ever, that's what we rely on because, bands like us, just being honest, bands like us that there's not a lot of room in the pop radio format for guitars. So you rely on the road, you rely on that fan base that keeps coming back to see you, and they've been super loyal, and we've been fortunate enough to be able to still play big rooms and sell out arenas in South Africa and all over the world. So it's a fun, it's definitely more work than just sitting back and watching the checks roll in from radio play, but I got into this to be, a stage performer, and I have to always remind myself that I get to do that and still make a living.
I mean, my guess is also when you first broke in 2006, social media wasn't maybe as much a factor or at all.
I think MySpace was still a thing. We had my first band, or second band rather, we had a MySpace page, and I don't even think I remember how to log into it. But and I wasn't forward thinking enough at the time to realize that is the future, and that's where everything's going to be heading. But
what's your strategy out there? I mean, you're on Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. How do you?
Man, that's I feel like we could be doing more. I feel like we just we actually do we live stream from our shows. Like all the fans in the fan club, they get to see the live show about 10-15 minutes of each show, but we'll go from like the drum riser, or we'll go from like the guitar world, we'll hit different angles of the show, so they're seeing it from different perspectives, which has been very successful, and they seem to really love that a lot. And we'll do live streams like headed to the stage, giving them more access to the boredom of that stage, because it's not what people would expect. We're like, hey, we're backstage, it looks just like this room and every other room. It's just got bananas and apples and all this stuff. But yeah, we try to give them as much access as possible. We've done, some live streams here and there on Facebook and things like that. But I feel like, as I'm saying this, I'm like, man, there's a lot more we could be doing. Because I think as the technology becomes available, or as those formats become available, the expectations get higher and higher. And then you have to get yourself out of that comfort zone of where you were and go, okay, now I need to do more because more is expected.
Well, so what could more look like for you? Is it more, backstage? Is it what else, what can you do?
I think the one-on-one, for me, I one of the things that I realize I need to be replying to comments more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm in the mood to reply to comments. I need to be doing that to every post, and it becomes, because I got into it when there was zero access to the fans, other than at the shows or after the shows or meet and greets or whatever. And then overnight, it was like, oh, by the way, you can talk to your fans now. I'm like, oh.
Does it change your relationship with them? Is it good? Is it bad?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. I feel like the past couple years, they've actually gotten to know me more than they ever did on the radio or on television or anything, because I've allowed access to that and just hanging out after the shows and just having, shoot the shit kind of conversations and just talk about life. And all of a sudden the guard is let down and it's you're actually just having a conversation with people, and there's this feeling of connection there.
They get to know you. Do you feel you get to know them?
There's a few of them that we've gotten to know quite a bit. Yeah.
Maybe not in a good way.
No, there's quite a few of them that we see on a regular basis, and we're extremely grateful. And we've gotten to know their kids. We've seen kids grow up, and that are were probably initially forced to come to a Daughtry show, but now they're actual fans. So it's pretty cool. It's a different time we live in, and it's exciting, and I think the days of the mystery are just over. Yeah.
So we're here at CES. I mean, are you a techie or device guy? Are you doing?
I'm someone who loves seeing new technology. I'm always a gadgets kind of guy. However, I haven't updated my phone in a couple models, but yeah, I'm always enthralled by that.
And lastly, I'm just curious, with the demands of the business and how they've changed over the course of your career, is it something that you take in stride, or is it, I just want to be an artist, or I'm just curious to get a sense of how you deal with, it's tough being a business for anybody.
Yeah, I think you just go with it. I think you go, okay, now what do we do? This is this way now what do we do? And it's really easy to keep doing the same thing over and over and wonder why things are changing around you. But the simple fact is everything changes all the time. So we live in a day and age where technology is changing overnight, at a very rapid rate. So we also have to be willing to change equally as fast. So today, I went into a self-driving Lyft. And I was really bummed out that there was someone in the driver's seat.
Really,
I got cheated. I was expecting a Jetsons type experience, and I saw his hands on the wheel way too much. So I'm excited about the new stuff that's to come and new ways of doing things. But it is easy to kind of you get yourself in a mindset and go, oh, back in the day, when we did this, we did that. But the fact is that doesn't exist anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm sure here in CES soon, most cars on the road will probably be self-driving.
Yeah.
You're playing tonight here in Vegas?
We are playing, yes.
So come see him at, where are you?
Where are we playing? Palazzo? Is that what it is? Something, there you are. Yeah.
Awesome.
Is that open to the public?
Yeah, it's a private event.
It's a private event.
Well, stand outside and listen to the ambient noise and try. Chris, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.